Hi everyone, welcome back, and today I want to talk about intuitive stealth mode. And what I mean by that is that it's so very important as a medical intuitive or wherever you're applying your intuition is not to rush. You can't push this. Now, I mentioned this in an earlier recording, and I'll probably mention it again because it is absolutely so important to understand that what you are intending to sense or feel or hear, or however you want to use your intuition to whatever context you are applying it, you need to let the information come to you, because that's what intuition is. Intuition is not the information itself. Information is just that, information. Intuition is the vehicle, the unseen apparatus that is hardwired into all of us, into our unseen energetic structures, into the nervous system of our physical bodies. It is unseen, though. You cannot see it, taste it, or anything. You can sense the way data comes to you through your belly, your heart. Perhaps you sense something like if you're auditory. Like you hear things and you just, it just comes to you, you hear something, and it may sound like your voice, but sometimes for auditory intuitives, the syntax is different. The language, the wording has changed, and it comes from a feeling and an auditory place, like it's coming from outside of you. Oftentimes it'll feel like it's coming in from the back of the head, like the left or the right side of the head. And so you can feel things even if you're auditory. In fact, we have all sensory pistons firing, so to speak, when it comes to our intuitive learning preferences and our intuitive receiving preferences. And I'll talk about that in another time, because that's important to understand the way in which it comes to you. And no matter how intuition is utilized within your body, within your brain, within your nervous system, and within your life, you've got to be willing to wait for it. You've got to be patient, because intuition doesn't come rushed in excitedly. That's ego, that's the mind. Intuition is always neutral, it's always clear. And it epitomizes to me the art of detachment. Because the language that comes, the sensations that come, provoke a neutrality, because they are made or existed or constructed from neutral thought. No agenda, no emotional intelligence that's clinging to it. It is neutral. So in the work I do as a medical intuitive, it is so important for me to be patient. For instance, in the first audio, day one, I talked about the first question that I always ask clients, because I want to see where their body takes me. Because most of my work is about physiology, medical intuition. Although I do structural work, houses, contracts, business, it doesn't matter what it is in life. Intuition can be applied, and I'm privileged to do that. But more often than not, my work day to day is medical intuition. And so being in stealth mode in this context meaning patient and slow, extremely mindful as one can muster in the moment, is absolutely critical to accuracy. Because you can't embellish anything when you're doing medical intuitive work. You've got someone's confidence and trust and perhaps even their health and life in your hands as a medical intuitive. So you've got to have a presence of mind and a steadiness of being present in the moment and being able to use the faculty of intuition in that stealth mode. Being in what I'm calling stealth mode, which is again patience, compassion, steadiness, even-mindedness, mindfulness, allows me, this is my experience, so I can only speak from that, allows me to use intuition to the level I'm capable of at this time. And we're always evolving intuitively, because intuition is a skill that we all have. And the more you practice it, like any skill, the better it gets. The deeper, the broader, the more horizontal, and the more vertical in a skill set you can go. For me, I am highly visual, but I'm also very empathic and auditory in that sense of knowing. You know when you know, but you don't know how you know. You just know. But I go in, when I say I go in, that means I'm going in visually to look at physical structure. And it's really important for me to be in that stealth mode because that allows me to go very slowly through the physical layers of the body, plus the energetic layers, if that's applicable. But usually my intention is to go in and look physically. In fact, always it is to go in and look physically. So when I am, for instance, going into someone's precious body, I go so slowly, like minutia. If I have to look at someone's skull or something's going on with their eyes, are they tracking right? Is there inflammation? Is the pressure off? I put my mind's consciousness wherever I am going, whatever structure approaches me and says, hey, come over here and look at this. So I go in there and I sit and I wait and I move slowly along the internal side of the skull perhaps, and I feel through the layers. This is where I'm both seeing and feeling and hearing and waiting for data to come in multiple strains simultaneously, and then somehow my brain, through practice, has the ability to tease out the most essential data in the moment. And why it's important to be in stealth mode is not only to allow a medical intuitive to move through structure slowly and assess all the way through, whether it's tissue, nervous system, like the dura, a neural net that's up in the interior part of the skull, the cranial fluids, to see what's flowing, what isn't, what's a little stagnant, to look and feel and sense for pressure on the bones, to see if there's any kind of issue, like for an infant with a birth trauma, where the skull is not quite aligned, and or any other structure or thing that may be calling my attention. And so whether it's a cell I'm looking at, intercellular, external cells, intracellular, in other words, cell-to-cell communications, muscle tissue, nerve functions, the way someone walks, so the articulation of their hips and their structure and how the nerves are handling it within the central nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord, as well as the peripheral nerves, as well as neuromuscular, as well as fascia. All those things are firing off in my vision at the same time, and I'm watching the orchestration of, say, somebody walking, even if they're not walking. And again, all my work is remote because I'd rather look in than at, even though I enjoy looking at people. And I used to do one-on-one personal sessions, but I just haven't done it for decades because it allows my intuition to be more accurate. So what can you do to develop a good, solid practice of stealth mode when it comes to your intuition? And this is also going to be redundant through this, and it's meditation. The practice of mindfulness and meditation, the practice of mindfulness, meaning when you're awake and aware, moving through your life, being calm, or when you're not calm, you're still aware of the fact that you're not calm. You know, being present, being mindful is very important as a skill to develop. It's a skill. It's something you have to practice. Meditation will help bring that mindful nature, that self-aware nature, more prevalent in your day-to-day activities. And being self-aware is not self-centered, right? We should all know that, but some people are, get confused about that self-awareness perhaps means a little more self-centered, and that's not what it means at all. It means that you're present to yourself and to your environment. You understand your internal landscape, which of course you have intuitively assessed slowly, mindfully, thoughtfully, in stealth mode, right? And then you're also paying attention to the external landscape, the external environment in which you find yourself in the moment, and how the two are balancing each other or not. I always say that the body rules, and it does. If it's in pain, it'll get your attention. If it's performing well, and your inner athlete is rocking it out on the track or anywhere else, at the yoga studio, it rules. And if an ankle or an organ or any part of you gets cranky, hurt, injured, or becomes unwell, yeah, the body's rule. So intuition is a really powerful tool to use to keep an eye on your internal landscape, emotional landscape, physical landscape, and certainly energetic landscape. So for today, let's take a moment and go inside. Take a few easy breaths in and out. Just nice and easy, slow and easy, breathing in and breathing out. Just let's let any tension go. Just let it all go. Set it aside. There's an anxious part of you, just kind of park it in the back of your mind. Give it a magazine to read. Just let it go do something else for a while. You're in charge. Emotions and chatter are just that. They're emotions and chatter. There doesn't necessarily mean there's truth in what's running through your mind. So just breathe in and out for a moment. And ask your body what part of your body needs to tell you something, needs some attention. And whatever you feel or see, hear or know, go there. What do you hear? What is your body saying to you? If you hear a lot of emotional chatter, that is exactly what it is. It is the emotional intelligence in your body that's been built up in the cells or the region of the body in which you find yourself in this moment. Take note of that because that's important information. It's an indicator of stress. It's an indicator of unprocessed emotions or emotions that just simply in this moment need listened to. If something hurts or needs attention, if you sense an imbalance as you move your mind slowly in and out of the region, move your mind around. Go behind the area that your body has sent you to. Go through it. Crisscross. In and out. In other words, gain different points of view and different perspectives. See what changes. See what different information you get, if any. Nothing is right and nothing is wrong. It's just the information coming to you. Be aware of the neutrality of it, the speed of which it comes to you. And are there any directions or instructions? Do you need to go see a healthcare provider? Do you need to shift a relationship? Do you need to shift your relationship with yourself? And if so, in what way? I don't want to rush you, so I'm just going to allow you to be in this place. Take your time, move slowly. Find your version of stealth mode when it comes to your intuition and mindful nature. Remember to be compassionate with yourself. That's very important. No pushing, no rushing, no shoving. And always say thank you to your body. Always. It goes through a lot. Keep breathing in and out of the space in which you find yourself. If there are any other places that are tangential to this that also have information, just move where you're directed. Just keep moving. Or stay still. Just follow your intuition. Trust yourself. Until next time.